Hey everybody, we are in episode 11 of Black Maverick Talks. So, today we're going to be talking about the new Watchmen movie.
Well, it's actually old Watchmen because I'm pretty sure this is just the Zack Snyder movie but animated.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of comments online.
Not to mention the voice acting.
Oh, you're skipping. You're skipping.
How am I skipping?
Because we gotta ease into it.
All right, go ahead.
You don't just jam it.
Like they did?
You don't just jam it.
The first thing we said, what was it?
Someone killed the comedian. I'm gonna find out who killed the comedian.
That's how we got introduced to it.
Bro, you don't just jam it. I don't want to just jam it.
That's what they did.
We gotta slow it down for them because this shit was retarded. This was crazy. Okay? I honestly... Oh man. This was the worst animated movie I've watched all year.
You gotta speak like a voice actor.
This was the worst.
Well, he wasn't the only one. It was the other dude.
Oh yeah. There was another dude too.
This was the worst.
They both had the same fucking problem. This was the worst animated movie I've seen all year. Okay? And it's sad because all they had to do was copy and paste. And they could have used the fact that it was an animation to do certain things that you really can't do as successfully with CGI. Right? They could have really went hard. My biggest gripe with this movie was the animation.
The animation was... It took a while to get used to.
No. Here was the issue I had, right? They had the same animation style as that Iron Man show that I think was on Nickelodeon. It was like 3D animation.
Cause he's
Right.
Man. I remember.
Right. That show was fire. This wasn't.
The theme song was crazy. They didn't need to go that hard.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
They set the bar.
They went really hard.
That was an anime theme song, and I was here for
They
it.
bodied that.
This Watchmen movie had the 3D style animation, but where they messed up is that every character was moving like this. He's running up the stairs.
Everybody got perfect form. Like a bunch of Terminators.
Bullets are hitting stuff and he's dodging it. It was just like, bro,
it was a stiff animation style, to say the least.
There was no movement.
It was stiff.
There was like, oh my gosh. The lack of movement made the action sequences seem slow.
It lacked impact.
There was no energy in it at all. At all. You honestly didn't feel like this character was trying to avoid anything. You didn't feel like this character was avoiding like punches or kicks or anything. It was just slow. Even when he jumped through the window, it didn't feel like this man just.
Like there's no sense of impact. There's no sense of impact. There's no sense of weight. And I don't know what the
It pissed me off. This was a miss. This was a miss. And I've seen people say that they absolutely love this movie.
I don't know how.
Good for you.
It's pretty much
I guess.
Same movie. It's like if you like this movie, you're gonna like the original.
No. This is not the same movie.
I've been making predictions in this movie, and it's been happening because it's pretty much a copy. Like I'm pretty sure the Watch Dogs thing.
This is like, give me your essay, but don't make it the same. But the dude took the essay and just used stupid words. He just tried to use less intelligent words. This movie had the potential to be on par with Zack Snyder's cut, if not better, and they dropped the ball ridiculously. I want to talk about the comedian first.
Someone killed the comedian.
Can we bring up that comedian video?
I want to find out who killed the comedian.
Comedian origins.
Comedian. Where's the trigger? Comedian now. Then you're gonna love me.
Check this crap out.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
How is the revival different? The first issue is the comedian. He's number one.
He's number one. Someone killed the comedian. I'm gonna find out.
Check out the Zack Snyder cut of the comedian, right? Look at this man. He's enjoying himself. He's doing just horrendous things. Okay, he's committing war crimes upon war crime with a smile on his face. Skip forward a little bit to the comics. Let's skip forward to the comics. Look at this dude. War crime. First of all, the outfit was really close. Kudos to Zack Snyder on that. But the general way that he carried himself, I felt was the same. You know, the actor in the Zack Snyder cut did a great job. Great job of really capturing that same energy that the comedian gave off from the comics. Even the flamethrower scene. Like, dude's just, he's in there.
He's smiling.
He's smiling. He's like, yeah. Like, yeah, you smell what I'm cooking? You. Like, dude.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Like, dude's having a good time, right? So let's cut away from this. In the animated version, I didn't get that energy.
It was there, but it was more. He was bitching more, but I think that was the whole point of. He was like, his character was like fucked up in the head. You know, he saw life as pointless, meaningless, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's a joke. So he's like, I'm gonna be part of the joke.
But that's the way the character felt in Zack Snyder's film as well. You know, he kind of just gave up, and that's why he didn't treat anything seriously. Nice. What the? Oh, not nice. Like, OD.
I need a.
Right. Let me just. But anyways,
It's not blood.
it could be.
Whatever. Anyway.
Will my stomach be set up?
Anyway.
This dude, something about it just, it irritated me. He felt like he wasn't as funny as he should be, and
He was never funny.
No, the comedian was funny in a really sick sense. This movie, there was no joke. There was no sick joke. It was just him just doing bad things just because.
Everything he did in this movie, he did in the Zack Snyder movie.
The energy behind it was different. There was no sick joke or punchline or like aha gotcha moment.
Like maybe the change was that when he was talking about it, he was really upset. Like, this is a joke, so I'm just gonna play along with the joke. Whereas the live action, he was like, this is a joke, so might as well just participate in it. You know, like he was more nonchalant about it because he's like, doesn't matter. But he did have signs of anger. Like he was, you know, you'd have to rewatch that.
There was rage there for him, but it's different.
Same thing when he shot the pregnant girl that he impregnated. That happened in that movie too. Mm-hmm. And he said the same thing to him. He's like, you could have stopped me. You could have turned the shit into bubbles. You did do all of this stuff, but you didn't. You don't care about us.
Right.
Right. Pretty much copy paste. It was pretty much word for word, emotion to emotion.
It was copy paste word for word. It wasn't copy paste emotion to emotion.
Did you watch the live action recently?
Yeah.
When?
I watched the live action the day after I watched this one.
So why the hell didn't you invite me so I could make a copy paste as well?
I was watching when I was on the train.
He leaving me out of stuff.
You'd be like that sometimes. Anyways, I didn't feel the energy was the same, and I think the voice actors had a lot to do with that, and I feel that the 3D animation had a lot to do with that too.
The stiff.
They were not capturing the emotion on the faces either.
It was like they tried to copy Into the Spider-Verse's animation.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't capture what gave that so much life.
What gave that so much life was the energy behind it.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy behind it.
It wasn't just random bullcrap.
This movie was written by Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
1995.
Which we got a nice calm. That had to be a 5 or 6 minute scene of this man's life.
They did that in the original as well.
But when they did it in the original movie, there was emotion behind it. When the man died, as he was coming back, everything that was there was emotion. This one, it just felt like he was telling a story, and I didn't give a crap. only scene I cared about was the fact that it was definitely his girlfriend's fault that he died.
I said the I said leave me alone part. That shit was
That was dumb.
That was corny.
That was dumb. I
Like-
said leave me alone.
Like in the original, I said leave me alone.
No,
and
he
then
said,
everybody
I said
disappeared.
leave me alone.
No, he didn't. He said, no, I said leave me alone.
That was like a Medea movie.
I was thinking,
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Leave me alone.
Right.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
That's how dude was. Man, it's just crap. This movie lacked so much emotion. It lacked movement in the animation.
Yeah, the way the live action Dr. Manhattan said leave me alone, you felt like
You felt it.
all of that pent up thing that he was like,
Please, stop. Leave
Right.
me alone.
and then he just snapped.
What you came to realize in the live action is that he does feel.
No, yeah, we know.
It's just that he doesn't really display his feelings
He's
in
numb.
a way that we see.
He's numb to everything because he can do everything, but he's still human, and
He's feeling it.
There's things that he cares about, and that part
He really cared
that
about.
that was a blow. That
It's
was
like
a blow.
it touched a nerve.
It touched the nerve.
This, it didn't feel like they
Not a
touched
lot
a
of
nerve.
things can touch a nerve to him because at this point he knows everything. But like that thing that touched the nerve, I'm pretty sure that it had when that happened, like the person that died of cancer and all that stuff. That was early on in him when he still was more human. So by bringing that up, it brought out the old part that's more emotional. Right, kind of like regressing his mentality for a second, but with his modern day abilities, which is devastating. You
Right.
know, like your old lover.
What? What? My old lover?
What? What? And then he starts speaking with emotion, and he's like, "You killed her because you gave her cancer. Leave me alone!" Boom! Everybody turns to dust.
Motion wasn't there in the animation, and I will give them one positive. They tried their best to capture the comic style in the animation. It was the comic style is very flat, but they use a lot of vibrant colors to display emotion. So they'll use red for horrific things, for super exciting scenes. They'll use the yellow, and the scenes where Rorschach is there. You can bring up the Rorschach image, right? We get to see him in a different light. Where's the Rorschach image? This one doesn't have him from the... No, that is him from the animation. Yeah.
That's from the comic.
Is that comic or the...
That's comic. That's not him in the animation.
Well, I like the way that they use it here.
And in the live action face on the left.
Yeah. Now, the thing with Zack Snyder, he doesn't do lighting. This dude just makes everything the same dark filter. So that was something that you didn't get from the live action movies, was the interesting lighting that they use in the comics. This animated movie tried to do that. My issue with it was just that they didn't add the movement. If they didn't add the movement and they didn't put an energy into it, so it just seemed like a waste. We got all of this for you to drop the ball? Let's see if we can find the article. Which one is it? Was it a multimedia or am I bugging? Do you have it? Thank you. Bill's the best.
Look at that. You look up Dr. Manhattan on YouTube, all they show is the live action ones.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the better one. So, in this first review, let's look at this first review. It is... Let me see.
Wait. They brought the girl... Wait. In the cartoon, they didn't bring the girl to him, right? It was just talking to him, and he just got... The girl showed up bald in the live action, which was like...
Yeah, they didn't bring the girl to him.
Yeah, which was an extra blow.
They just talked about it.
Yeah, so he's actually seeing the damage that he's done.
Yeah, that was a better build-up.
She was like, I went my whole life, and he's over there low-key having a panic attack. Like, he's holding it in, but
Yeah.
you can tell by the micro expressions that he's making that he's freaking out.
Dang. Not the wig!
Hell yeah, the wig.
This is how
You
you
gotta
repay
turn
me.
up all that loud.
Jenny, I wasn't told. I didn't know.
Damn you, John. God damn you.
Jenny, wait.
Oh, and now they flashing the cameras?
And then look, and they're rushing him.
Yeah.
This wasn't like that in the cartoons.
Everybody was just sitting still.
Yeah. They're bombarding him.
He's having a panic attack. He can't deal with it right now. Wiped him out. Wiped it out. Finally silence. We didn't get that. Because it wasn't loud enough to begin with in the animation.
It was calm. Hey, what do you think about this?
Calm, calm, calm. The audience, they're upset but calm.
Nobody got out of their seat and bum rushed him. They
Nothing.
rushed him.
He was sitting by himself
he was-
in the animation.
Dude was like,
Leave me alone.
And he cleared out people that were 20 feet away just for the kicks. Shits and giggles.
nobody reported about that either. They just, what can they report? They didn't.
Right, they were gone. What? Which one is this? Doobity doop doop doop.
I said,
Doobity
leave
doop
me
doop doop doop
alone.
doop doop. We're
Why
going
the-
to bring up this
Why the
one.
comments turned off?
Watchmen Chapter 1 review. The Citizen. Let's bring up the Citizen review. So, this was written by The Rap. Who's a writer? We're gonna put him on blast. William Bibbiani. Okay. It may be hard to believe, but there was a time when people said Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' Watchmen would be impossible to film. After all, it was the Citizen Kane of superhero comics, a marriage of inventive storytelling, critical commentary, and visual ingenuity that capitalized on the unique artistic possibilities of its medium. Not to mention that it would be expensive as hell to make, and, if adapted faithfully, R-rated, a doubly dicey proposition in the Hollywood studio system. But that was then, and this is now. Right. We have all these opportunities. Zack Snyder brought Watchmen to the big screen 15 years ago with a
Has it been
well-intentioned...
15 years?
I feel old. With a well-intentioned but overblown adaptation that was respectful to the material until it wasn't, altering a single load-bearing plot point that made the whole story collapse. After decades of anticipation, that movie came and went, more or less failing to make the impact on superhero cinema the way its source material did on comics. This is true. It was a movie that more or less was forgettable. And didn't have to be. It had a lot. An HBO series set after the events of the original tale, executive produced by Damon Lindelof and released in 2019, was widely acclaimed, but to be fair, was not a direct adaptation of Moore and Gibbons' material, so it had different hurdles to overcome. I think that that's true. Let's see. Now he's talking about the Watchmen, this animated crap. It's a CG animated 2-part motion picture, faithfully recreating many of the panels from the comic and much of its narration and dialogue. You know, it really was faithfully recreating it from the comic. You know why? Because everything felt like it was still. Nothing was moving.
Man,
It was all still.
you're gonna have to watch part 2.
The filmmakers seemed to be daring
Ignore
the
me?
audience to find any
bastard.
fault with Watchmen Chapter 1 because any problems with an adaptation this literal could only be problems with the comics themselves. Ooh, that's not nice.
What do you say?
He's basically saying that they wanted to make it so exact to the comics that any criticism of the animation would be a criticism of the comics themselves.
No.
That's what he said that's what they're
Man,
daring people to do.
He's hiding behind that, man.
I think that's cap because they really were not completely literal to the way it was in the comics. You know? First of all, the comics was not 3D animated. The animation, the illustration style that they used in the comics was very flat. They used a lot of flat colors. They used a lot of vibrant colors. So their decision to make this 3D animated in and of itself was already a problem. That's my opinion right there, first and foremost. And then secondly, even though the panels in the comics, obviously it's not moving, you could see the movement within the panel. The way that they frame things and set everything up. I don't see that comparison here. I just don't. Now, if they were trying to hide behind that, they did so unsuccessfully. He said it's an admirable and relatively successful retelling of the story, but it struggles with the visualizations and sidesteps the biggest problems with translating Watchmen to a new medium instead of overcoming them. I agree. It definitely struggled with the visualizations. That's one of the biggest issues for me. You know, capturing the scenes, the movement, all those things. What are you doing? Oh, is that from the... Oh, that's from the HBO show. I liked that, by the way. How you gonna watch the show in the show? You're watching 2 shows. My dude...
You liked that?
What? I like her.
Look at him. Blue Man Group?
He look like an alien.
Grown Man Smurf?
Bruh. Did he not cut his hair? His head is not that big. That dude
You like this?
I like the plot, but we can move past that. Anyways,
Bro, they took away his glow.
yeah, he's not
And he
glowing.
looks so stupid.
Yeah, he just looked painted. He
Isn't
looks
Dr.
painted.
Manhattan always glowing? He's always glowing. He's never not glowed.
Is he always glowing?
Yeah, he always glowed. He's never seen, ever since he turned into Dr. Manhattan, he's never not once turned off that glow. So for them to not only turn off that glow and bring out the human eyes, it looks so cheap and uncanny.
Yeah, he looked like he got painted. And that in the HBO series, he looked like he got painted.
Some of the comments was like, yo, I thought this was a skit.
That shit look kind of funny, bro. Man, that looked funny. But overall, the plot in that show was better. It just sucks because HBO really
They're cheap. They're cheap with this stuff.
They didn't fund that.
They
should have funded that. That would have been a great show if they gave it the
He
funding
needs to
it needed.
always glow. Like, don't turn off Dr. Manhattan's glow.
Yeah.
There's some things that he can't do, and power down is one of them.
True. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's talk about Dr. Manhattan for a second, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring up this Dr. Manhattan image. So, 15 things you didn't know about Dr. Manhattan. Honestly, I don't care. I know for a fact that this version of Dr. Manhattan in the animation, while he is not supposed to showcase a lot of emotion, I think that the Dr. Manhattan in the Snyder Cut did have micro emotions.
Because he's still human.
He's still a human being.
It's
right?
just that his body, his senses are being overwhelmed by a bunch of things, and he's grown.
This
numb
man
to
is
the
basically existing at every point in his timeline, in his own personal timeline. So he's just experiencing too much at once.
He doesn't know what's real and what's not, I guess.
But when certain events happen that are extremely emotional for him, he's able to focus in on that one thing. And you can see the humanity come out in him again. Like here, when he's looking at this picture, he kind of looks blank about it.
You can tell it's sad.
But he's sad.
There's sadness in there.
You could see it. You don't see it in the animated version that just came out. He just looks like a blank slate. Just completely blank slate. I also don't like how this version of him... I'm hungry. That was hunger. This version of him...
Tell that dude to shut up.
Yo, I can't talk to... What you want me to tell my dude?
You'll probably pick that up on the mic.
Probably.
Was that thunder? Nah, that was thunder, guys. It's raining really hard right now. Hurricane Ernesto messing us up.
Right.
That's what that was.
You know who doesn't get hungry?
Who?
The blue bastard. What the hell's wrong with you? Who?
That was a weird ass transition.
I was trying to get back to the blue person.
He's starving over here. He's trying to distract everybody by talking about Blue Man Group over here.
Anyways.
Playing with the pipe instruments.
Anywho. Thank you. I think that this version of Dr. Manhattan in the Zack Snyder Cut and the version that was in the animated film were pretty far from each other because at the end of the day, he's a character that is showing some form of emotion. It's just the way he shows it is a little different. And in the animation, he showed absolutely nothing.
It was like cognitive dissonance with him in the thing. Like, he's not even inside of his own body.
Right.
He's narrating his own words, predicting what happened, what will happen, and what already happened. Because it was pretty much saying how he sees the world. He's narrating his own life because he sees his life from a third person point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's everywhere at once. His body isn't even his body. That's not him. He's everywhere. He's just concentrating his existence in a single point to interact with the mortals around him.
When we were watching the scene where, he was looking at the picture and all that in the new movie, I remember telling you that I actually did like it. I liked the narration. What I didn't like was the execution of it.
The execution was bad.
Execution sucked.
I want to make an argument.
What?
For why Dr. Manhattan is an intriguing character, right? Because people, some people, I'm not gonna name names, but
That's crazy.
People think that the more power that a person has, the more boring they become. When that's not always the case. It's how that character is written. Mm-hmm. How does a person with absolute power react to a thing would determine that character's strengths and weaknesses, right? You give someone power, they say power corrupts, power enables, power reveals your true self, but they never really go into the melancholic aspect of absolute power. This person, materialistic things don't matter to him because he could just make everything. So what's the point? Life and striving to survive doesn't matter because he's immortal. What's the point? Mm-hmm. He can see life and death interchangeably where there's no real difference between it. So what's the point?
Sure.
What's the point of anything? Mm-hmm. He sees the comedian killing the I think Korean girl, and he doesn't even try and stop her because it's like, what's the point? Mm-hmm. More death is going to happen with or without my help. Mm-hmm. What's the point? That's like, so he has the ultimate power, but it changes his mind to not caring and becoming indifferent to the world. And that transformation in the mind is what's interesting and not his powers.
We didn't get to see that.
I know, but him as a character, because I'm going off what I remember from the live action movie, not the cartoon, not this thing that we just saw.
Right, we didn't get to see that in the cartoon.
But him as a character, he's a person who's lost his humanity because of the godlike power he has. Mm-hmm. Which, in my opinion, makes him even more interesting than Superman. Because Superman, he still acts human even though he pretty much has the power to destroy planets.
Yeah.
Right? If nothing matters to you, eventually you'll become numb to everything. There's a bunch of phases that you can take, but it will all lead to this plateau or this hole of emotions.
Right.
You have ultimate power. You can right wrongs in your life. You can then take over or enslave or destroy whatever you want.
Right.
But then what?
That's the question.
After you did all of that, now what?
What happens next?
What happens next? Now what? Everybody is worshiping you, but it doesn't really feel... You're not really getting anything out of it. Sex is nothing. Food is nothing. Money is nothing.
You know what I
Life
could tie
and
that?
death is nothing.
What I could tie that to?
What's the point?
So you know I'm Buddhist, and
You are?
yeah, I am. You're stupid. Everybody, I'm Buddhist. Hi. Anyways, something that they teach you is how to essentially find peace, right? You're finding this Zen state, or you're becoming a Buddha, which is enlightenment. But in order to do that, you have to let go of all of your attachments to the world. You have to let go of the things you want as well.
I think that letting go for him was kind of forced, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if you were to do it for yourself,
He'd be more at peace.
you're at peace. You're like these monks that you see. These dudes are the happiest people on the planet.
Maybe that's what he should do.
Because they're at one with everything. They don't want anything because they realize they have everything they need. Whereas with him, everything he wanted was taken from him. Everything he needed was also taken from him. This man can't eat. He can't drink. There's no point.
He doesn't
Sex
need to
is meaningless.
sleep. He can experience everything and anything at the same
There's
time.
no more meaning in life.
There's no more meaning.
Him getting these powers took his meaning away. Whereas if you were to go on the journey yourself, you still have meaning in life. Meaning has just changed for you. And you can find happiness. There is no happiness for him. So I think that Dr. Manhattan's an amazing character. I love the way they handle him in the comics. I even love the way that they handled him with the New 52. Because that whole thing with the New 52 was just him trying his hand at making something new and seeing if it fucking worked out. You know? But it didn't. You know, even when he was orchestrating everything out of maybe pure boredom, it still didn't work out. So that just proves to him even more so, nothing he does matters.
Yeah.
Nothing he does matters.
Eventually, he should have just became like a watcher. He just observes everything.
Right.
Because it's like
He's I believe the word is nihilistic.
He's nihilistic.
He is a 100% nihilistic character. But
he had a life, he had emotions, but then once he changed, all of that started because it was a slow.
it was a slow.
Because
Yeah,
when he
developed
reformed,
slowly.
he was still emotional, but then it started to drop. It started to go away.
That's the thing that this animation did, because it wasn't as long as the Snyder version.
You didn't get to see that transition into emotionlessness.
No. We just saw it happen in a few minutes. And it took away from it. It took away from feeling bad for him. Or feeling anything for him, for that matter.
Yeah, like ignore his powers and not analyze his mind. What do those powers do to his mind?
We didn't get enough of that.
That's what his story is. His story isn't about his godhood. It's not about his powers, what he sees, what he experiences. It's about his mind, his emotions draining out of him. Like One Punch Man. Mm-hmm. One Punch Man used to be a very passionate dude, but then when he got his ultimate power, the absolute strength, he started to lose his humanity. He said so himself, and that's one of the things that bother him. He's like, my emotions are slowly going away because nothing's a challenge anymore.
Right.
But the moment he gets something that challenges him, it
Revitalize him.
yeah, it's like they had the little animation where his heart pumped. Imagine his heart wasn't even pumping. Like, what if his heart stops? Like, he doesn't bleed because his heart doesn't pump. He's just a being of pure power, and the heart pumping is his humanity.
Right. That's the
But being
symbolism.
that his humanity is dying, his heart is stopping or slowing. And only when something excites him or something that he really cares about comes in, that's when his heart starts pumping again.
Well, if we talk about Dr. Manhattan, to be honest,
He has that too, though.
he has all of the organs that a human being would have, but
Does he? Well, yeah, he
Yes,
does.
he
Because
does.
he showed his circulatory system, his nervous system, all of that stuff.
but that doesn't mean any of that stuff is working.
It's just there because that's how he remembers himself.
right. It's just there. It's just an image,
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's not
serves
real.
no
It's
purpose.
pure energy.
Right.
That's it.
There's a lot of symbolism in the character that I just feel like they didn't have the opportunity to explore, and that sucks. I do want to jump into Rorschach though one more time. Let's bring up that Rorschach image.
A comedian with skills.
They ruined this character in the movie. I'm sorry.
His voice was kind of like that in the live action.
Nah,
But
it wasn't that bad.
see, this is why you need to watch stuff alongside me so I can remember and know.
The voice in the live action, yes, it was deep and he had that guttural tone to it, but he sounded like the type of person that was just angry and also maybe smoked
Way too many cigarettes?
Way too many cigarettes. Whereas in this, it just sounded like the voice actor was fresh off the freaking boat, and this dude was trying his best to be as guttural as he possibly could, to the point where he never stepped back and said, "Does this even sound right?"
They didn't even care.
And the people that were managing this shit didn't care enough to say, yo, chill, bro.
Nope. They was like, this,
Hell.
that was perfect.
You're doing it so much, we can't sense the emotion behind your voice. It was like he was monotone. He was just stuck in that same voice at the same pitch for everything. I hated that crap. It was boring. It was putting me to sleep. Super boring. So no, they failed with Rorschach here. And you see this image? You see how like hurt he looks? This man looks like he's been through everything you could imagine, and he really truly has lost all hope. He looks defeated. That is the purpose of Rorschach, to be this character that was already defeated.
But he just keeps pushing on.
He's just pushing on. He's just pushing on. But deep down, he feels like everything is already lost. It's just a part of him just can't give up. But he has given up on himself.
Like his brain and his face expresses defeat, but his body just keeps pushing on.
Right. He's basically a zombie almost. He's just a shell of himself. Doing this for a reason that he probably can't even understand.
Who killed the comedian? Who killed the comedian? I don't know. Oh, okay. Hey, what the hell was that last one for?
He's pushing on. He doesn't even know why. That's what I got from the Snyder Cut. Whereas with this version, they showed him walking around. They showed him buying comic books. They showed him eating pizza. They showed this man doing certain activities that I feel like it took away from that. First of all, I believe in the Snyder Cut movie, if I remember correctly, they did show him eating food, but he was by himself in his house. The way he was eating the food, there was no enjoyment. He was doing it purely because his body needed sustenance, and that was it. That shows a totally different personality from, oh, yeah, let me go to the pizza shop and eat a slice of pizza. Or let me go to this comic book guy, and he knows that I'm a regular because I come here all the time to buy this specific book. What's the point of buying comics if you don't give a shit about anything? That was super weird. I didn't quite understand that. And maybe that was in the actual original comic book that he did that. But it's okay to adapt things and push a character to a limit that maybe the original writers didn't do. I think it's cowardly to just copy and paste everything that you saw in the comic book, even if it may have been a miss. That's a miss. I have no issues criticizing anything. That would have been a miss to me. And they could have changed that. So, you failed on that one. Let's see. Oh, man. That was all our reviews for today.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about this?
Well, I mean, the cartoon was, I always say subpar because I don't want to say dog shit. So it was subpar. It was subpar, you know, it was below expectations. That's about it, you know. I don't want to say it was, you know, donkey dookie. It was bad. It was terrible. It was a snooze fest. You know, I'm not gonna say any of those hurtful words. Like it was a shit version of the original. It was a lazy copy paste because I was pretty much predicting what was gonna happen next.
That's unkind.
You know?
That's unkind.
So I wouldn't say stuff like that.
Don't say that.
You know, I wouldn't say stuff like whoever made this movie was a mistake.
Right.
You know. So I'm just gonna say the movie was just a disappointment. You know. I'm gonna keep it nice.
It's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it was
That's
disappointment.
it. That's all it was.
The art style was a little stiff, you know.
Yeah, a little still.
Probably not, you know, AI. You know, it was definitely handmade. People.
That voice acting was fucking
People
AI.
really cared about this, you know, how the movie flowed and stuff. The voice acting, it was
subpar.
Suboptimal. Suboptimal.
Oh, big words. Big words.
It was below average, you know. I'm not gonna say nothing like, you know, they was trying too hard and they were the type of people who failed in class and they was just getting participation awards.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna say stuff like that. I'm just gonna say that this movie was, you know, subpar.
They weren't aiming for any awards here, that's for sure.
You know, they weren't, you know, shooting for 10, probably like a low 4.
Their parents didn't tell them to shoot for the stars. That's for sure. I'm the harsh one. You could be the nice one if you want.
Yeah, that was very nice.
You can be the nice one. I'll be harsh guy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say stuff like it was
good,
subpar.
Good cop, bad cop. I'm cool with
cop,
that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that.
Subpar.
Crap.
Subpar.
Crap. This
But
movie,
the characters, you know, I like the characters.
I like the characters for what they are.
Yeah, I
Just
like.
wish we got to see
I
them
like
more.
Dr. Manhattan. He's very interesting to me. Because, like I said, I like writing characters who have ultimate power.
Hold on. You know what I just realized? We didn't get to see very much of Owlman. I remember in the Snyder version,
We saw him a little bit.
Owlman was more prevalent in the movie, and I actually remember, at least when I was a kid, having an emotional connection with him, especially with that budding relationship that he was having with the other. With that,
That's gonna be in part 2, I bet. You know, he's gonna have a nightmare that Dr. Manhattan destroys him, or maybe even the entire planet, because he found out that he was sleeping with Homegirl's homegirl.
maybe. Well, this is predictions.
This is predictions.
These are
because
gonna be
it's
what are
pretty-
the future predictions.
It's pretty much rehashing the entire movie. It's like, I've seen this movie already, so what's the point of even watching this movie?
Exactly.
It's like copy paste, and y'all just smacking it in half and then saying it's 2 different movies so that we can take more of our money or just waste more of our time, and just we could have suffered through one sitting, but instead you breaking it up into 2 separate pieces.
Right. And that's the worst part. The first part was bad enough that I don't want to watch the second part. But I'm going to have to so that I can review it. And I would have preferred if we could have just watched both parts all together. This is totally different from what DC recently did with their Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was a 3-part movie series. I really enjoyed it. Now, part 1 was a little bit iffy for me. It wasn't bad, it just I wasn't sure where they were going with it. But parts 2 and 3, I thoroughly enjoyed that, right? It was dope how everything tied together. I don't see how this is going to have that sort of situation. It's going to be more so like, oh yeah, we just picked up where we left off and we're just going to continue the crap until we get to the shitty end. Like, that's it. That's where we're headed. And if they are just doing a copy paste, pick up a comic book and then you'll know exactly what's going to happen. And that also sucks. To know that you're watching something you probably don't even like and know that it's headed to a place that's not even special in any way, shape, or form. Oh, I'm really hungry, bro.
I want to go to way back.
Way back? We going way back. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching the show. Don't watch this movie.
Watch the Zack Snyder one.
3 out of 10. And that's the lowest rating I think I've ever given anything. This movie was difficult to watch. If it weren't for the fact that I was watching it with Ed and one of our best friends, I wouldn't have finished it. So 3 out of 10 for this. Forget about it. It's not good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you thought about this movie in the comments. Listen, if you disagree, tell us why. We're happy to hear it. And don't forget to support Black Maverick Publishing. We want to bring more of this type of content to you, and you can support us by purchasing one of these 2 books or any other books in our library. What it does is it helps us fund these projects and bring more content to you and everyone that you love.
And then eventually what we're going to try and do is try and get some shirts. Get some shirts up in this mother.
Matter of fact.
And then we could do it now.
We could do it now.
And then, you know, what I want to do.
What?
You see how my mimics are named after chess pieces?
Yeah. Do you want to have shirts with like the...
No.
What?
Chessboard.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I want a chessboard where the pieces have the head shape
Of the mimics. That'd be fire. If you are in the comments and you know you could do that, hit us up. Or if you know someone that can, hit us up. That's a fire idea. It's a fire idea. We're trying to get some merchandise out here, okay? We want to bring stories and we want to bring fun back to science fiction.
Yeah, I want to see some toys. I want to see some, you know, some toys. I want some toys.
100%. 100%.
I like toys.
I just went to the toy store recently. I know this is an aside. We're trying to finish up, but I went to the toy store recently for my nephew because it was his birthday this past week. And I was looking at the toys that were there and I was disgusted. They don't move.
Yeah, right. They don't move no more.
They're like this tall and they don't move their limbs. They just look like statues, but you're paying $40 for a lead statue. It's the stupidest crap I've ever seen. They don't even look accurate to the way the source material is. It's just the laziest thing in the world. And I'm like, this is why toys are failing right now. This is why these companies are shifting to
Yeah,
other
they talking
things.
about Hasbro but
Look at the shit you do!
Give us some interactive. Yo, back in the day when you could move the
You
wrist,
can move the fingers.
Bro, I got a big ass what's it called? Venom toy up
Ooh,
there.
yeah, I got one too.
And it moves.
Everything.
All the fingers.
Everything.
The tongue you could even fucking man.
They don't do that now. They make these really lazy toys,
Yeah.
and it's just sad.
All you could do is move the shoulders. Probably wanted to do one of these.
They don't even do that. They don't do the twist no more. Just the legs and the arms.
So my mimics, right? Them toys. You might not. You probably have to like do one of those things where you remove the hand to replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Like you remove the elbow and you can replace it with like the cannon.
Yeah, but
Right.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and then the elbows move, the knees move, wrists, ankles.
We need all of that.
And then people can make stop motion videos with them. 'Cause
Right.
I used to love watching those.
I used to make some.
Bro, they take toys and they would stop motion video. I think there was one I used to watch a long time ago with Sonic and Shadow and all of them.
You can't do that anymore.
No,
you have to find the old toys to try and do that stuff
Only
with.
yeah, because all the
new
things,
toys are crap.
all the things have the care into them. Like a GameCube don't break ever, and yet iPhone break 2 seconds.
Bruh. It's just stupid.
I'm playing with GameCube controllers that are older than my brother, and they still work fine.
Right.
Amount of all of the stuff that they've been through, nope.
It's silly. It's sad because if you're truly a fan of something, the toys actually help you become even more of a fan of it. The way that you can interact with the toys and use your imagination to create your own stories and situations with them. Like when you're a little kid, that's what you want to do. We need to bring back toys that bring
Yeah,
that
all
for
we
kids.
got now are dolls. What happened
It's
to
just
all
these
the action
freaking dolls,
figures?
bro. And
the-
plushies.
Bro, come
Plushies
on,
are more
son.
popular than action figures,
Come
bro.
on. So yeah, if you want some mimic toys, maybe even some Devoyant toys that actually still move the way they're supposed to.
Definitely the Voyant toys. Those demons are gonna look fire in toy form. I'm gonna make them horrific. So
Well, not too horrific. You're not trying to give them nightmares.
yes, I am.
You put them on a shelf and be like, all right, good
Trying-
night, nightmare demon.
I don't give a
Wake
crap.
up in the middle of the night
Yup.
and hide under the
That's
damn.
effective. Effective
Trying to
marketing.
give kids nightmares.
Effective marketing. But yeah, guys, give us some ideas in the comments and let us know what you think about this movie. And of course, show as much support as you possibly can so that we can keep making this content for you. You got anything else to say?
I'm gonna make a paper boat.